we will charge them approximately half of what they are and have been charging us. So the tariffs will be not a full reciprocal. I could have done that, yes, but it would have been tough for a lot of countries who didn't want to do that.
US President Donald Trump has imposed a 27% quote-unquote discounted reciprocal tariff on Indian imports, citing what he calls as India's very tough trade practices. This move, unveiled during his Liberation Day address, is part of a sweeping tariff policy targeting multiple nations, including China and the European Union. In addition to this, the Trump administration has imposed a 25% tariff on all foreign-made automobiles. Trump's justification for the 27% tariff stems from his claim that India imposes an average 52% tariff on US goods, while the US charges significantly less in return. According to Trump, this imbalance has hurt American businesses for decades. While displaying a chart, Trump announced 10% tariff on all US imports, with higher rates for some countries, including a 34% tariff on Chinese imports. The White House said that US would start charging the 10% tariff on 5th of April, with higher duties for certain nations, including India, starting on 9th of April. But what does this mean for India, its economy, and its trade relations with the United States? For India, this announcement comes as a significant blow. The United States is one of India's largest export markets, accounting for billions of dollars annually across sectors like IT services, pharmaceuticals, textiles, and automotive components. As per reports, Indian exports to the US in 2024 reached $81 billion, with US being our biggest destination for merchandise goods. Meanwhile, India's goods imports was worth $44 billion in the same period. This led to a trade surplus of $37 billion, the exact reason why Trump chose to impose reciprocal tariffs on India. 27% tariff will make Indian goods more expensive and less competitive in the US market. Industries such as IT services, auto, and pharma, which rely heavily on US demand, are particularly vulnerable. For instance, Indian pharmaceutical companies supply nearly 40% of generic drugs to the US market. With higher tariffs, American consumers may face increased prices for these essential medicines. Increased tariffs potentially lead to a decline in export revenues. As per a report by Reuters news agency, India is open to cut tariffs on 55% of US imports, but as of now, no deal has been finalized. Trump's 25% tariff on automobile imports is likely to impact auto stocks such as Tata Motors. The timing of this announcement is also critical. India has been working to strengthen its trade ties with the US through negotiations aimed at reducing trade barriers. However, this move could derail those efforts. While Trump referred to Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a great friend, his rhetoric also included sharp criticism of India's trade policies.
India, very, very tough, very, very tough. The Prime Minister just left. He's a great friend of mine, but I said, you're a friend of mine, but you're not treating us right. They charge us 52%. You have to understand, we charge them almost nothing for years and years and decades. And
on the other hand, India's economy has shown resilience in the face of global disruptions before. Diversifying export markets could be one way to mitigate the impact of these tariffs. Additionally, India's strong domestic consumption-driven economy might act as a buffer against external shocks. However, this will require careful policy adjustments and strategic planning by Indian policymakers. For the United States, imposing these tariffs is not without risks. Higher import costs could lead to inflationary pressures domestically, especially in sectors reliant on Indian goods like pharmaceuticals and textiles. Critics argue that while these tariffs may protect certain industries in the short term, they could harm American consumers by driving up the prices. Geopolitically, this move signals a shift towards more protectionist policies under Trump's leadership. It reflects his broader vision of quote-unquote economic independence, which he claims will bring back jobs and factories to America while reducing its trade deficit. So, Trump's 27% reciprocal tariff on Indian imports is a double-edged sword. While it tries to address perceived trade imbalances and boost American industries, it also risks disrupting global trade flows and straining bilateral relations with India. For India, navigating this challenge will require resilience and adaptability, both in diversifying export markets and strengthening domestic industries. So, the question is, can India adapt and thrive as global trade enters a new era of uncertainty and recalibration?